Elimination Chamber 2024 was absolutely wild. I woke myself up at about 4:30 to an alarm to watch this. And let me tell you, the reason I know it was wild is because if it wasn't, I would probably be sleeping on my couch by 5:30. Cuz for me, the event started at 5. This show was awesome. And some people didn't like it cuz they thought, the matches results were very predictable. But sometimes it has to be. But anyway, let's get into this. Okay, so first match, the Judgment Day in JD, the Judgment Day versus the New Catch Republic. I think this match was better than I could ever have expected. Okay, this match was amazing. See, you remember in my predictions when I said this could be the match where the New Catch Republic proved themselves as a tag team championship contender? Well, that definitely happened. I now see how big of stars these guys are. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, they're huge stars. Maybe in the future. There could be huge stars in the future, right? And the best thing about this match is it kept me on my seat for the entire time. I was like, Judgment Day is going to win. But then, after some tag team finishers, I was like, no way, are they actually going to have the New Catch Republic defeat the Judgment Day for the tag titles? And then it kicked out. It kept you on the edge of your seat for the entire time. And WWE did this perfectly. And they kept the tag team champions, the Judgment Day, in looking strong going into Mania, where hopefully they'll defend against R-Truth and The Miz. Awesome Truth. If that happens, then that would be great because they built the storyline up so good with R-Truth. And apparently R-Truth went to Austria. I really can't tell if they were just writing him off like that and R-Truth couldn't make it, so they just said that random thing, or he actually went to Austria. I'm thinking it's number one because I don't think any human's that stupid because he went to school. So, yeah. But overall, this was a good match, and I'm excited to see what they do with the Judgment Day going into Mania. The next match is the Women's Elimination Chamber match. This match was pretty good. You had big stars, and you had, like, it's surprising because I'm surprised they had Naomi go out with that because she's a pretty big star, especially coming back at the Royal Rumble. But overall, this was a good match. I think the men's match might have been better, but this match was still pretty good. There was a lot of cool spots, but people do say that it was predictable that Becky would win. Except, like, other than Liv Morgan, who else would win? Now, there's one thing I saw which said, what happens if they have Liv Morgan get into a storyline where she was runner up because she was number 2 in the Elimination Chamber. Well, not like entry number, but she was the runner up. She lost to Becky Lynch. She was the final woman except for Becky Lynch. And Becky won, but I think they could, like that person said, there was a person online that said it. And like maybe they could make a story where like Liv still tries to go for the top if Rhea retains at Mania, then that could be like a SummerSlam or Backlash match, something like that, where Liv is the runner up. So I think you can still make a story out of that. But other than Liv, Becky was the only other option. And it was a pretty good match with the right winner. Next up is the men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, this was just wild. You had Bobby Lashley throw Kevin Owens into a chamber and the pod, and then you had him spear Logan Paul through a pod. You had crazy spots where Logan Paul was jumping off pods. You had the brass knuckles, and the way Logan Paul lost was so good, where he had the brass knuckles and then Randy RKO'd him. But Then after that, in the final two, Randy RKO Drew, but then Logan hit Randy with the brass knucks, and Drew pinned Randy for the 1, 2, 3 to send Drew to Seth Rollins at Mania. This was a really good finish. It was really clever. Except, I don't know. I could see Randy Orton versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. It was a match no one saw coming. It was a huge curveball. But who knows? It probably could be a good match if they have a good storyline, and they're two pretty good workers. So I think that could be a good match. Also, you had AJ screw over LA Knight, which that definitely means they're having a WrestleMania match between AJ Styles and LA Knight. But otherwise, this match was insane, had awesome spots, and definitely the right winner in Drew McIntyre. Then you had the Grayson Waller effect. This was the only thing on the card that I didn't really, think was that good. I mean, like, Cody gave called out The Rock and said anytime before Mania, I'm free for a match. And this was good, but like other than that, I guess Austin Theory was like good, kind of, but other than that, I don't really feel like the segment was that good. I thought The Rock and Roman would come out, but hey, they don't have all the time in the world. But this was the only real thing that I thought was mid. Then finally, you have the main event, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. The hometown girl, Rhea Ripley, defending her championship, her women's world championship, against Nia Jax. This was a really good match. The the spot with the announcer's table, that was really good. I really like that spot. Um and you had Rhea hit the Riptide for the 1, 2, 3. A lot of people said this match was predictable. People said that, it wasn't that good. But in truth, another thing that credit again to Mr. Santi's app, one thing he pointed out was Elimination Chamber is not this big show. It's not a WrestleMania. It's kind of more of a gimmick show, right? So it's not really like have the biggest of matches like WrestleMania or SummerSlam or the Royal Rumble. So if you fill a stadium up with 50,000 people, it's just such a big stadium for not that big of a show. So that might have made some people think it's bad. Another thing is making it predictable. Except if you had Rhea Ripley lose the belt in her hometown they haven't went to Australia in like 7 years, right? If you had Rhea Ripley lose this match in her hometown, I mean, you'll have the Australians throwing their huge spiders at Triple H. They'll all get angry. WWE will get maybe a bigger backlash than when they had The Rock take Cody's spot just a few weeks ago. They would have massive backlash from Australia and kind of from everyone. So I think this was a good match. And the predictability, they kind of had to do it. You couldn't have Rhea lose. I think it was a really good match. So yeah, overall, this was an amazing pay-per-view. Some people wouldn't say that, but I think it was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Some people said 4 out of 10. I didn't even understand how it was a 4 out of 10. I think maybe an 8 out of 10. It was a really good show, and I woke myself up early for a really good show. And the road to WrestleMania is awesome so far.